Welcome to episode 14 of the Hockey Dummies podcast. With me, as always, is Pat.
What's up?
But we also have a special guest to hang out with us for the entire pod.
And it's not Bronson.
Will the Thrill from West Hill. Pat's Thriller, how are you guys doing?
Pleasure to be here, fellas. Thanks for the invite, and happy to be a part of today's show.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you guys listened to episode 8 of the pod featuring Matt McGuffin of the Cornwall Royals, you would have heard us telling some tales from about Will the Thrill
Willie's slow pitch escapades.
Yeah, getting a little rattled, getting a little riled up.
After getting
The competitive
rocked.
juices do get going.
It's slow pitch.
Well,
fucking 50-year-old men.
Yeah.
Well,
Will was the key
It
cog
happens.
in getting Matt to come on the pod with us, and most importantly, he's agreed to come on and give us some dirt on
There is no dirt on Pat's.
Come on, give me something.
Pat's is fucking clean.
Give me anything. We know he's not clean.
sheesh. When the funny thing is, I went to a different high school than Chris, and
Right.
people that I went to high school with that would play baseball against our team, they didn't refer to him other than Eckersley.
Right.
You play with Eckersley? Eckersley's on your team? I'm like, because he had this long hair that would go, shoulder length.
I remember you gave me that. You gave me a baseball.
Did I make you that card?
The Eckersley card, and he
Yep.
whited out the name, and he just
I made
put
up all these
Chrissy
funny
Dorr.
cards for him.
Nice.
He was Eckersley. I went to Birchmount. Like, oh, Eckersley's your pitcher. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But he threw like Eckersley, too, so
Did you go like sidearm?
No, I just threw gas.
he was good. He had gas.
Yeah, well, he still
Still
does,
have
but
gas.
just a different type of gas.
Yeah.
Well, a side note to this week, Kathy the Psychic was supposed to come on with us, but she kind of gave me the old Shane Goss to spare and ghosted me.
I predicted that.
Well, I
I'm
wonder if she
psychic.
predicted that.
I'm psychic.
Well, we've been going back and forth, and I'm actually producing a new TV show called Paranormal Survivor. So we've been in touch with Kathy about coming on and giving some insight to that, and she hasn't been the most responsive to my research team either. So
Yeah, because they hate you.
I just, I've given her a couple dates, told her when we wanted to do it.
Wow.
Didn't end up working out for it, but you know what? It's Christmas time, so I'll give her a free pass there. But
That's very thoughtful of you at Christmas time.
right. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Well, this week we're also going to be chatting about the current World Junior Championships right now. We're 3 games into the tournament. We're going to be finding out who you should pick up in some fantasy puck this week, and which players have gone full-blown dink fire and slid into the sack with
Dink
Buzz's
fire.
girlfriend.
Jesus.
But first, let's get to our NHL headlines of the week. Trade alert! We got Michael Hutchison going to the Leafs for a 5th-round draft pick.
Is it the Michael Hutchinson of like 5 years ago or the current one? Because
Current,
the current one
Mike.
fucking blows.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to NHL radio the other day, and they were saying that it's great for Florida that they got anything for him, let alone a 5th.
Yeah, really. They should think about trading Reimer too.
Yeah,
If they
no,
can get
he-
at least a 5th for Reimer.
He hasn't been doing too well this year, but hey, you got Freddie Anderson's currently day-to-day with a groin injury. Clearly too much holiday sex for Freddie. This is a depth move for the Leafs. They lost Picker, they lost McElhinney in the offseason. So they got Kashmir Kaskasulo.
You don't even know his fucking name.
Yeah. That's who's
why,
backing
exactly.
up for him right now. So, they need for Sparks, who did not look great last night.
Sparks does not look great ever. He's literally had one game where he's actually looked good, and that was a shutout against Philly, and he actually looked like an NHL goalie. Every other fucking game, the guy looks like a road hockey goalie.
Well, even that game where they won 6-0, he didn't. There weren't a lot of like big chances. You know what I mean? Like
No,
a lot
but
of
he's still it was just the way he played. He looked confident, right? Like if you look at him last night, he's scrambling all over. He dives at pucks. Like he's not technically sound, and he's not even close. And everyone's sitting on Facebook, Sparks is awesome. Look at his fucking record. Well, fuck his record. Who cares? You're scoring 5 or 6 goals a night. That's gonna totally mask inept goaltending. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
he's the Grant Fuhr of backup goalies.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I don't let in that 6th goal.
Yeah.
I'll get the W.
I'm going to keep us in. We're going to win 7-6. Nah, you know what? Fuck off. You're not going to be able to sustain anything with Sparks as your goalie.
Well,
that's the way it is.
You know, rest up Freddie, lay off
and Hutchison. Bring up Hutchison and send Sparks back down.
No.
Conditioning stint.
No, you don't get rid of Sparks like that. You get picked up, no problem. And the Leafs play of late, they've been great. You know, although last night they ended up having their 5-game win streak snapped. They really took it on the chin to the Isles. Like, they came out hungry.
Well, Barzal kind of just ran all over them. So.
Yeah, he was lights out last night. But, you know, hey, that's no excuse. I know that we played in back-to-back games, and you got, you know, Sparks being the backup goalie playing in those 2 back-to-back games.
Backup.
Yeah, well, you're not starting Cascasulo, and that's why they went out and got.
They should have let him play the 3rd period last
Cascasulo.
night.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
There's no L in his name, by the way.
Cascasulo.
Cascasuo.
Is it Cascasulo?
There's no L.
I like mine better. It rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Well, the thing is, so we're in 2nd. We went on a 5-game heater. We got it snapped last night, but we have Tampa, who we're trying to chase for our division and the entire NHL. And in their last 10, they're 9-0-1.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
You know, yeah. So it's kind of hard to gain ground when the team that you're chasing doesn't lose. You know, like holy
or lose their starting goalie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they were out without Vasilevsky for how long? And Louis Domingue came in and just fucking shut the door.
Louis Domingue played well.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, also in Leafland, we have Hyman has been out with a sprained ankle, and Tyler Ennis is now out with a broken ankle, and we even have the Patrick Marleau trade rumors have started to swirl. Have you guys heard anything?
I haven't
about
heard
that?
anything about it. I didn't even know that until I fucking read what you sent me today.
Yeah,
Just Steve Simmons was chirping a while ago about how his contract might be putting him expendable. But
Well,
yeah,
if you can take, what is he, 6.25 or 6.5 next year? If you can take that off the books,
right.
then you can pay Austin $13 million. You
Sure.
can pay Mitchie $11.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and that's and let me be clear to everyone listening out there is that the trade rumors aren't for this season. It would be for the off season, and there's starting to be talks of Marleau going back and playing his last year in San Jose, where his contract was front loaded. So it would still be the cap hit of 6.75, but actual dollars is only 1.25 million.
Maybe they actually negotiated that when he signed, and they said, "Listen, this is what we're gonna do.
Potentially.
we're gonna send you back to San Jose." There's probably shit like that goes on behind the scenes all the time that nobody ever knows.
Oh, look at Plekanec. You know, he went back and played a couple of games, and
Turtleneck.
the turtleneck retired.
Thomas Turtleneck?
Thomas the turtleneck.
I can't believe he was on our team.
Moving over to the Dallas Stars, I was actually on my way here too. I was listening to an interview on NHL radio with Jim Nill, and it's getting pretty interesting over in Dallas. You got the Stars CEO ripping on Ben and Seguin, saying that
That
they're,
guy should just
quote,
shut the fuck up.
horse shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's 5 push-ups.
No 5 push-ups. I'm quoting. I'm
No,
quoting,
it
buddy.
doesn't matter. You said
quote
shit.
unquote.
I'm just
Sorry.
relaying the
Nope.
message here.
5 push-ups.
But you know, I'm I'm looking over at the statistics. You know, Ben has 15 goals, 30 points in 39 games. Seguin has 11 goals and 33 points in 39 games. Like it's not bad.
It's not
that they're-
horrible, but it's not up to their standards.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say.
But the
It's
whole
like,
team stinks. So you know what? Shut the fuck up.
I think
You're a CEO. You should shut up.
I think Seguin is like 65th in scoring, and Ben is 78th in the league scoring.
Yeah.
Where, you know, over the last 5 years, Tyler Seguin has been ranked 8th in points. So it's like, you know, and what Jim Nill was kind of getting to on NHL radio today was, you know, let's say that both these guys were in the top 30. You know, like even just like between 25 and 30, how much better could the team be, right? And it's like, as of right now, they won last night, and they currently sit in the last wild card spot in the West. And you know they're kind of like they're in it, but at the same time,
they're not elite.
They're not elite, and they're not meeting the expectations of the management group. So, hey, good on them. They are the leadership group, and you know it's not just them. You know, everybody's got to do a little bit better.
Right.
You know what's funny? I bought my nephews for Christmas a Seguin and a Bench T-shirt for Christmas. So Am I missing the ball here on these two guys? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Did your nephew say the gifts were horse shit?
These guys are horse shit.
Guys are
Maybe
horse
behind
shit.
my
What
back,
are
they
you
were. I
doing,
don't
Uncle
know.
Will?
I thought they looked nice.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, moving over to something a little bit more positive here. The Pittsburgh Penguins just re-signed.
Reassigned what, to the minors?
Yeah, the Penguins just re-signed Jake Guentzel to a 5-year, $30 million deal.
Guntzel.
The Gunt.
The Gunt.
Soul?
Jake the Gunt.
Soul?
Love it.
The 24-year-old ringer has 15 goals, 33 points in 36 games this year. So he's doing just as good as Sagan. Sagan's making 9.5.
Jesus.
He's got the same amount of points, making $6 million
Hey, in our
in less games.
in our pool, Q traded to get Guntzel.
Yeah.
He traded Jesse Puljujarvi.
To get him.
That was straight up
Good for him.
1 for 1. And when he did it, I'm like, you're an idiot. And now I'm like, oh, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the guy is undefeated.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, it was funny.
He
I was
hasn't played me yet.
I was chatting. Yeah. Your team's horse shit. I pounded you.
I'm like 15 to 1 this
Horse
week.
shit.
You're horse shit. Wow, that's fucking 20
I'm quoting
push-ups
the
coming.
CEO from Dallas
No,
again.
you're not.
I'm your
Fuck
witness.
you.
Yeah. Witness. Oh man, yeah, it was funny. I was chatting with Q about prospects, and he was telling me how he didn't know any of the people that I was talking about. I was like, you should check out the pod sometime there, Q. I can give you some tips. He's like, look at the scoreboard. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, you are undefeated and you're winning the league. So, anywho, Glenn Wesley came out on Twitter this week.
He should shut up. Even before you quote him, he should shut up.
Well, Carolina Hurricanes, they rocked the Hartford Whaler green, which they looked gorgeous in. And Wesley came out on Twitter and said this, and quote, "The Whalers jersey belong in Hartford, not Carolina. If you want to do it right, play it in an outdoor game in Hartford versus Boston or the Rangers. That would be the right thing to do for the Whalers' history." What do you guys think about that?
I think he played there for about 5 minutes, so he should shut up. And then he was he started in Boston for what, like 6-7 seasons.
Yeah.
And then he had I think 2 or 3 where he was with Hartford.
Right.
And the rest of it was in Carolina. So why does he even care? And then he played for the Leafs for 5 minutes too, but
Yeah.
you know what?
I don't know.
Who cares?
The one thing that I thought was kind of weird is that in Hartford they have specific jersey numbers retired.
Right.
You know, and like
Oh, and they let Dougie Hamilton
they let
wear
Dougie Hamilton wear
yeah.
number 19. So that to me is like, you know what, for the game, like, you know,
I would have
change the number.
And it's not like it's going to ruin Hamilton's season because his season's fucking
Stinks.
in the,
It'd probably help
in
him.
the shitter
He should
anyway.
change his number. He should change his clothing. He should get a new haircut.
He should get
His
traded.
attitude, from what I've
Should go back to
gathered.
Calgary where he scored 17 goals.
Maybe he's not hitting museums up enough.
I don't know
what he's doing.
But you know what? I'm glad
Carolina
that I
signs
traded
Freddie.
his ass.
What's that?
Maybe Carolina signs his brother Freddie and makes him happy again.
Yeah, exactly. Get the Hamilton brothers
was-
back together.
He was pretty rattled when they put him on waivers last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Christ.
But Hamilton's doing Hamilton.
Hey, I
things.
traded him in the pool. I got fucking OEL back for Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's a nice trade.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had
there
a-
was a few other pieces in there, but
I had him in my Yahoo pool, and I just dropped him.
yeah.
This is like, fuck, this guy's brutal. Taking a peek over at the Art Ross race right now, it's getting to be pretty close here. We got Nikita Kucherov has taken the lead.
I didn't even notice him
know.
until literally like I'm like, what? Kucherov's leading in points. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
I thought it was like Rantanen by like a landslide.
He's up at 61 points, but Rantanen is only 1 point back at 60 points. And the other players that currently have 50-plus points are, you got Nate McKinnon with 57, McDavid's with 54, Mitchie Marner with 53,
Fucking love Mitchie.
and Johnny Hockey with 51. So if you had to take one of these guys at this point in the
Marner.
season, who are you taking? I'm going McDavid. You know, you
gotta
just
like
can't.
David.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll stick with the leader right now, Kucherov.
You're taking Cooch, Willie. Who are you
Cooch.
taking?
Well, you guys have spoken for your guys. If that's the case, I'll go with Nate McKinnon.
Nice.
Yeah. 'Cause
All right, we
there's a-
gotta.
Hey,
He's
did
strong.
you hear that I got Nate McKinnon from fucking
Whoa.
TML over here in the
Did
pool
not know this.
for Milan Lucic?
I did not know this.
Yeah. Moving on.
Lucic. Okay, well, I guess we'll move along.
Oh yeah, we're moving along. We got the rocket race happening here. We got Ovi tops the league with 29,
But
nipping at his heels, Skinner and Tavares, each with 26.
dirty.
Skinner.
Did not see Skinner coming.
No,
I mean,
I thought he was going to have a better year.
I figured 30 goals for the season, not 30 goals by the All-Star break.
That's crazy.
Well, and,
Right.
And think about this: like his partner Eichel, who's been dishing him the puck,
Fuck Eichel. I hate Eichel.
he has 10 goals in his last 10 games.
Yeah, he should shut up though.
Should he? Should he though?
Yes.
Who
I didn't
else is
stand
on that
Eichel.
line with him?
You didn't see that hit from behind that he should have got suspended for, and they're like, "Oh, it's Eichel. Don't worry about it."
Right.
And who's riding shotgun on that line? Is it Reinhardt? Who's the
I
other
don't
guy?
even know. I thought Reinhardt
Who's the
was a
F3
center.
on that line?
Oh,
I don't know.
making me think here.
Yeah, making me think.
Do I have to?
No, it was.
Do I need to go
Pominville.
to the Google?
Pominville was
Reliable
playing with
F3.
That's why Palmville was having a good season. until
Yeah.
he got hurt.
Makes sense.
He was, yeah. Then he got hurt. So, but yeah, Pominville was playing up with those boys. The other guys with goals 23 plus, you got Landeskog that has 24. Laine, Pavelski, Atkinson, and Pasternak have 23. I feel like I don't really even have to ask this, but Ovi for the Rocket this year, boys, or
I'd say so.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he's scoring at a better clip now in his 14th season than he's never ever.
Incredible.
Yeah,
After all that partying.
It is Reinhardt,
all
by the
summer.
way, on the right,
Is it? Okay.
right side.
yeah, Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Nice. And moving over to the assist leaders, which I like to call the Wayne Gretzky Award.
Soon it's going to be the Mitch Marner Award.
Marner.
Well, we put up that poll at the beginning of the
Oates.
season about Rantanen or Marner for more assists, and it was like
It was like 50-50 almost, wasn't it?
no, it was like Rantanen won by like 70-something%.
Really?
Saying that he would have more assists. He's still in the lead. Rantanen's in first with 44, well tied with Kucherov, and in third place is Blake Wheeler with 43, and Mitchie Marner is in fourth with 40. So he's only 4 assists behind the leader.
See, the big advantage for Rantanen is he's got 2 studs to pass the puck to,
Yeah.
where Mitchie's only got Tavares, which has turned out
Right.
pretty good so far. But
Well, and even looking at the stats, I was looking at what Tavares had last year through 38 games to this year. He's got less points and less assists. He's got more goals,
yeah,
but he's got far less
because
assists.
he's not the guy setting everybody up.
No, exactly. But that's the thing. You get like, how much better would it be if there was another shooter on that line?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing with Babcock is like he's always got that, you got your big center, and then you have your playmaking winger, and then you have your grinder.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, man? Take your top 6, put your best top 6 out
Sure.
there. Especially like I mean, last night everybody was in the shitter, but they finally got Nylander back with Matthews.
Right.
Right? I mean, you need to do like Nylander, Matthews, and Kapanen together. That's phenomenal. When Nylander gets up to speed, whenever the fuck he's going to get up to speed.
Yeah, and put Marlowe.
Marlowe should play with Kadri. No, Marlowe should be with Kadri.
I like them together, but I'm just saying, like in terms of Tavares Marner, like Marlowe's a shooter too, right? Like I don't know, I wouldn't be too upset if he ended up landing there, but
No, but I mean, you got like Johnson and Hyman was your regular up in the top 6, right?
right.
But then you have Nylander playing with Kadri and fucking Connor Brown. Neither one of them can fucking score,
No, I know.
right? And Kadri's having a shit year. I don't care what anyone says. He stinks. Fuck him.
I still like having Kadri on the team.
It's because you have the fucking jersey.
I do have the jersey, and I
and
stand
it's from
by
fucking China.
it. No, I got the legit
Knock
jersey, you
off.
piece of shit.
I've seen your jersey. It's a knockoff.
It's not a knockoff.
It's
Amazon.
a fucking knockoff.
It's not. It's not.
It's not even Amazon. It's like fucking
Anywho,
Tiger Mart Express.
I'm gonna bring it next time.
bring it and I'll fucking burn you down.
All right. Enough of that. The NHL just put out their post-Christmas power ranking of the top 10 teams here that I'm going to list out. Let me know who you guys think have the best chance to win the cup. Okay. Number 10, Montreal Canadiens.
How are they making the top 10?
They made
Carey
the
These guys
top
are
10,
fucking
man.
brutal. Get out of
Go
here.
as far as Carey Price's
And Price stinks
fragile
this year.
physique goes.
You got the San Jose Sharks coming in at number 9. Any shot there?
No. Nope. None.
Why?
0.
0
Because
chance.
they're San Jose. They never win.
You got the Columbus Blue Jackets coming in at number 8.
No, Tortorella's going to screw that up.
The Fonz will run his course. First round.
You got the Nashville Predators coming in at 7. Like, they've been on a bit of a skid. They've lost, like, their last 4, but they're still in second place in their division.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. I don't know. I just don't see them going as far as they went a couple years ago.
Here, move that mic in a little closer,
Okay,
buddy.
there we go. There we go.
We got number...
Put it down your throat.
Yeah, like Pats does. Number 6, you got the Boston Bruins.
Yep, they have a 100% chance of winning because Psychic Kathy said so.
Again, if that first line gets injured, that's a whole different twist to how that
Yeah,
season goes.
Bergeron seems to get hurt all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
He's been hurting me in fantasy, but he's back. He's back, baby. Number 5 is the Calgary Flames.
Oh,
You guys see that one coming?
No, not at all.
No.
You
They
can't see
traded Dougie Hamilton, and look what happens.
exactly. And now look at how Carolina's doing.
Yeah, that trade really worked out well for them, didn't it?
Stinks. Number 4, the Champs.
Yeah.
I could see them. I could see them being hungry to do it again.
Me too, man.
We've seen Pittsburgh do it, and they
Especially if Ovi
got a
keeps
history
going.
there. So he wants to. He wants to show he can do it twice.
I would love to see Ovi do it. Like, if the Leafs don't win, I'd love to see Ovi
That'd be a
do
good
it again.
semifinal. Leafs and
Leafs aren't until 2025.
Well, yeah, that's what Kathy the Psychic
Just
said.
like Kathy said it. So
Number 3 in the power ranking is the Winnipeg Jets.
I don't know, man. They they're good.
They kind of
have-
tease you, right?
It's almost like I don't know.
They
It's
need
almost
some
like
more
they don't
center
know.
depth.
They don't know what to do
Yeah.
with their talent.
They have,
And Bufflin's out too, so
Oh yeah, I heard his
that's
ankle.
that's
right.
a big deal.
yeah, they need to stay healthy. I like their goaltending. I like their D. I like their wingers. And I love Scheifele.
Yep.
But
So you basically like their whole team.
except for, like, I don't mind Adam Lowry, but then
He's the grinder type though, and he
You
hits.
got guys like him and Tanev who just kind of.
I love Tanev.
He's a beauty. Yeah.
All they do is hit.
They need
Providence
another
College.
center. They need
Yeah.
that like Stastny type player to come back in.
Yeah. What's their cap space like? Do they have any room at the deadline to?
I'd have to circle back here.
Don't ask us questions that we don't
I
know the answers
Sorry.
to.
Force the habit. Being
No. We can look into
we'll
that.
cross
here,
that bridge at another time. Sure.
I would love to see them get somebody like Jeff Carter for the run. Like,
That'd be a nice
Jeff
pickup.
Carter fucking.
The Kings would be a nice
stinks this
team to go smooping around. See what
year.
they
Yeah,
got.
Drew Doughty. Hello.
Doughty, Toffoli,
I would take
Yeah,
Doughty.
Muzzin.
I would take Doughty right now.
Yeah, right now they have a projected cap space of about just over $6 million.
So
So they could definitely handle a player like Jeff Carter, and
sure.
I would think that's what Cheveldayoff's going to do.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2, our very own Toronto Maple Leafs.
Zero
I'm not gonna
shot
get,
if
I'm not
Anderson.
gonna get my hopes up.
Yeah,
zero shot if.
you have a Habs shirt on. Oh, that's the
the Junior
Junior
Canadians.
Canadians.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a minute,
Sure.
but yeah, for a
Happens
second,
a lot.
I saw Willie wearing a fucking Habs shirt here, and I was like, "What is going on?"
I kind of looked at it. It looked kind of weird. It wasn't.
The waitress this morning did that to me as well. Oh, you a Canadians fan?
I'm a spit in your bacon.
No.
Spit in your bacon and your eggs.
And
But she was French, so she maybe gave me more.
I will spit in your
home
bacon.
fries.
more. And number 1, boys, is the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah,
they got the best chance.
That's a tough team, and they got depth.
They're so good. So good.
Yeah, I think this is. I like this being the year for them. Vasilevsky is just doing it every
He's
night.
ridiculous. That guy.
He is ridiculous,
Oh, yeah.
and Braden Point taking a step with that offense
That
they
guy's
already
getting
have.
a shit ton of money this year.
Yeah.
Next
He's
season when
he's
signs.
gonna
depth.
be the next problem for them, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the fucking the list of RFAs next year.
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
yeah, we could do a
The
pod just on the
fringe-
RFAs.
Yeah,
There better be some offer sheets this next season because it's going to be amazing. Just
Well-
not to our guys.
Well, the last thing I have in here before we move on, let me know if you guys want to just kind of talk about this quickly, or if you guys want to get in depth on it. But the All-Star captains have been announced. In the Atlantic, we got our boy Austin Matthews representing
Well
the
deserved.
Atlantic Division. Alex Ovechkin being the captain of the Metro. For
sure.
Connor McDavid is the captain of the Pacific, and Nate McKinnon representing the Central.
I love it how it's young, old, young.
Well, hey, and they're all studs, so good for them. But
Yeah.
NHL.com put out their projected lineups for the All-Star games. So I'll just kind of rattle them off here, and you guys let me know what you think. The goaltenders of the Atlantic would be Carter Hutton and Andrei Vasilevsky. Defense, Morgan Riley, who is
there you
in
go.
on the team. He should be. You got Tommy Shabbat and
Sure.
Aaron Ekblad.
Shabbat's out for
Ekblad.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Max Domi, David Pasternak, Jeff Skinner,
right.
Dylan Larkin, Nikita Kucherov, and Austin Matthews.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue any of those.
No.
Right?
No, not really. You know, like they all kind of really, like Jeff Skinner definitely deserves to be there.
For sure.
You know, Tommy Shabbat definitely deserves to be there.
Yep, he'll be
and you
there.
got to start looking at all the other teams, right? Like,
Yeah, then you're going to run yourself into... There's going to be some good guys left out because...
Well, they're all, yeah.
well, yeah, you got Marner left out,
Yeah.
Tavares left out. You know, and
Unless
that's
Tavares not there, my God. Unless he says off the record, I want to go away.
Yeah.
I want to go to
back home.
Cancun.
well, you know, like
But it is what
you,
it is.
You have players that are going to be hurt, like
Yeah.
Shabbat. Other guys will kind of come into play, but
For sure.
I think all of the forwards are okay right there, right now. Over in the Metro, we got the King, Henrik Lundqvist as the goalie, and Sergei Bobrovsky. Like, I feel like we've...
Yeah, Bob's hasn't been Bob's.
yeah, but he's an all-star?
Yeah, I
Question
don't know.
mark?
That's interesting.
And you got Seth Jones. Like, you already have a Blue Jacket there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seth Jones, but that guy's like, he's a given.
No,
Yeah,
but that's
He
what
was
I
gonna be an
mean. Like,
all-star.
isn't there
How's
isn't
Bobrovsky?
another better goalie in the Metro?
Yeah.
You got John Carlson and Chris Letang on D. And up front, you got Ovi, Sid, Taylor Hall, Barzell, Giroux, and Aho. The good
Giroux?
Aho.
Pretty good.
I thought Drew was having a shitty year.
Claude Giroux. Well, you got to take someone from Philly, and they all stink.
Him or Wayne
Yeah.
Simmons, maybe.
Yeah,
Wayne
who else would
Simmons
you
stinks
take?
this year, too.
Oh,
You can't take
I don't know.
anybody.
You got me.
Yeah, Giroux is by far their best
It's just
player.
that's because of his name.
No, like, well, statistically.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Take Robert Hagg.
Yeah, I like Hag, man. I like Hag. Hag's my boy. I got over in the Pacific Division, you got John Gibson and Marc-Andre Fleury in net, which I think is a solid
Yeah, that's
duo.
pretty good.
On defense, you got Carlson Burns, the Sharks duo, with Mark Giordano on D. And up front, you got McDavid, Monahan, Goudreau, Normie P,
RVP.
Elias Peterson, Clayton Keller, and Anze Kopitar.
Yeah, they're gonna win.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
Jesus.
dirty, eh? I would love to see a line of Carlson, McDavid, and Peterson. Wouldn't that be fun to watch?
Okay. Yeah.
Put those three together, please,
Puck will
Lord.
be moving pretty quickly and smoothly.
Oh, man. Over in the Central, you got Pekka Rinne and Ben Bishop in net.
Bishop lasts and doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
again.
yeah. We'll bring Hudobin in.
He's brutal.
You got Roman Yossi, Ryan Suter, and Tyson Berry on D. And up front, you got McKinnon, Rantanen. Like, fuck, that's three Avs.
Three Avs, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Why is Kopitar on the fucking team?
Kane,
Come on.
Line, O'Reilly, and Shifley, just to finish off the Central
It's
there.
a lot of kings. Yeah.
But you want to...
I'm wondering about why Kopitar shouldn't be anywhere near the All-Star team.
Well, but who from the Kings should represent them?
Drew Doughty.
You think so?
Yep.
And well, they probably looked at the defense and they were like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, Burns, Carlson, or Giordano, who you taking out?
Giordano.
No, Giordano's having a great year.
I know. I'm just saying that.
He'd
'cause
be the
he's your
one that
guy.
you don't take
Maybe
out.
Carlson, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, just because
Oh, I don't know,
what
man.
he's
Like-
usually been doing, but
Yeah, I guess they
That's
don't
debatable.
really. Sure as hell wouldn't be Kovalchuk, right?
No. So you're liking the Pacific for the win there, Patty boy?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for the Atlantic Division just because I want to see
yeah.
the players with the Leafs, but I'd like to see
I probably won't even watch the fucking games.
I watch it with my kid. I try to get him into it, especially like the skills competition and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah, I
always
don't. I
fun.
like actually like watching that better than I would like watching
It's
the
not
games.
like it used to be.
Yeah.
You know?
But I like that it's a 3-on-3 tournament now. It just kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. But
Yeah.
anyways, let's move over into some fantasy talk and get into a little pack 'em up.
Look, there's some people want to ride too. Pick them up.
Pick 'em up right now.
Pack 'em up right
'em
now.
up right now.
All right, well, starting off with the goalies here. We have New Jersey Devils, Mackenzie Blackwood.
Pick them up.
Only owned in 27% of Fantrack leagues. The rookie's picked up 2 wins in his 3 starts this week, had a shutout, a goals against average of .80, and a save percentage of .977. Have a week.
Seriously.
That's not bad.
You know what's also funny is Corey Snyder still doesn't have a win
Ever.
in
in
2018.
a long time.
In 2018, he
No,
still
he
does not
stinks.
have a win.
He stinks. I was listening to Ken Danica on NHL radio and just talking about the lack of confidence that Schneider has, and it's
Crazy.
like, that he's still being the consummate pro, a consummate team guy, but man, like does he not just need to get out of New Jersey?
We talked about this, I
Yeah.
think, a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
but
trade him.
But who the fuck is going to take him?
No, I know his
Like,
value
he
is so
stinks
low
right now.
He must be making a good penny.
He's like $6 million or something. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not going to feel too bad about it. He's getting
No,
a
but still, as an
ridiculous
athlete,
paycheck.
you have that sense of pride,
No,
right?
I
You want to
know.
get in the
I
net.
know.
You want to be the guy. But hey,
Yeah.
good for Mackenzie Blackwood coming up. We spoke about him and felt like it wouldn't be until next year that he comes up and kind of makes a mark. But
I feel like he's been a prospect for a long time.
he has been. But like I said, like I kind of felt like it wasn't going to happen until next season. So it's been expedited a little bit. But hey, good for him.
Schneider sucks.
And pick him up.
Mind you, Kincaid's actually slipped too since the beginning of the season.
Pick him up right now. You got
Drop Kincaid. Pick up Blackwood.
Drop Kincaid. You got Anton Hudobin.
Pick 'em
That's
up.
boy.
49 saves.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking loved it.
He's only owned in 26% of our leagues, and Kudobin picked up a win, a shutout, and he had a goals against average of 1.0 and a 974 save percentage.
Because he's awesome.
Pick him up.
No, he's not that awesome. But, like Bishop's bound to get hurt again, so he's going to be the guy
Right.
for
Well-
the season anyway.
Colin Delia,
Pick 'em up.
the real Delia,
Real deal, yeah.
only owned in 22% of leagues. He picked up 2 wins in both of his starts this week with a goals against average of 1.99 and a 950 save percentage. Pick him up. Pick him up
Isn't
right
he, I thought he was who was the old guy that?
No, the banker?
Yeah.
No, this
who's
guy's
that?
like a legit goalie.
Oh, okay. Because I swore that was him for some reason. I
No,
looked at
man.
it. I'm like,
and
who
you
the
know
fuck
what?
is this guy?
Like I saw this guy sitting on the waiver. He was dropped, and I was like, should I pick this guy up?
Yeah.
And I didn't, and now I should have picked him up.
Yep.
And another guy, a side note, not that he's been going out and having a great week, but Ottawa Senators prospect, goaltender Marcus Hogberg,
Picked him up.
a.k.a. the Hog.
Picked him up.
Former Brampton Beast.
He is, eh?
That's right.
You picked him up?
No, but I'm gonna right now.
No, you can't. He's already been picked up by the
shit.
Nords. So I remember I was trying to Dauber Prospects. Peter Harling went on and on about this guy on the Dauber Prospect Radio podcast about a year ago. Mm-hmm. So I've been keeping tabs on him. I remember trying to trade him, make offers to the Nords for him. Said no. Nords dropped him this year, and I hemmed and hawed, and I didn't pick him up.
Yeah, I looked at him too at one point, and I was like, "Do I pick him up?"
And I didn't.
Yeah, me
and
neither.
because like the Sens were calling up other guys ahead of him, and I
Yeah.
was just like, you know what? I like my farm as it is, and I didn't, and I left him, and now he's been called up. He's getting starts for the Sens, and don't be like TML. Pick him up.
Pick him up right now.
Over at the defense, Andy Green,
Pick 'em up.
Scout's best player.
Scout's
Still
best
playing,
player.
Andy Green.
Only owned in 8% of Fantrax leagues. He picked up a goal, 2 apples, was a +5, had 6 shots, 10 blocks in his 23 minutes of ice. He was ranked the 3rd best defenseman in all fantasy hockey. Pick him up. Pick him up right now. How come you're not? How come you're not?
Because I'm watching you. It's actually funnier.
Jacob Chikrin,
Pick 'em up.
only owned in 42%
Chikrin
of
did
leagues.
something finally.
Yeah.
A former junior Canadian.
Yeah, was he? He was.
98 junior Canadians with Victor Mete.
Do you remember watching him play?
I can remember watching him practice, and I had heard that he was coming down from the States because the USHL denied his exceptional rookie status. So
Right.
he had nowhere to play, and he had some contacts through spring hockey on the junior Canadians. And I heard he was signed and was registered, and I came down for one of our practices. I think it was either a Tuesday or a Thursday. And I see this man skating and doing drills. And I said, who's the dad out here? And the general manager for the organization's with me, Blake Ricci, and he says, that's not a dad, that's Jacob Chikrin. And I could not believe that this kid was 14 or 15 years old on the ice with other grade 10s. It was the most
Just a man amongst boys.
crazy thing to see. Yeah.
Right.
And
And
we
clearly his skill too would have stood out.
he was 15 and he was built like he was like 25, 30 years old.
Right.
And, you know, and my friend I coached with, Jeff Angelidis, would go up and help with the minor midgets that year when they needed help on the bench. And he said every once in a while you poke the bear, and he would just turn around and look at my buddy or look at the head coach, John Winstanley, and say, "Okay, I think I'm ready to do something." And he'd pick up the puck behind his net and just end to end, go under the crossbar and come back and sit down. And it was like something you rarely see. It was something special.
You sure rarely see it in the NHL from him right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's a little bit different there, but man,
Don't care.
Was he ever highly touted coming in? And just
First round
hearing
pick.
that too, right?
First round pick.
Special athlete.
Yeah, no, like just like you said, he's just an animal. I remember we were at the 2016 draft, and he came out. He was so excited to be drafted by the Coyotes.
Sure.
I remember he was out in the lobby signing autographs for everybody.
I think he was excited just to get drafted because he dropped it in his
He
draft.
did
year.
drop,
He
but
had a bit of a breakup call.
yeah, but still, like
Because I would hear stories through friends who were in Sarnia, and there would be like GMs, head scouts coming from all over, like flying in to Toronto, driving 2 hours, and he would be a scratch. He's got a cold, or he's not feeling great, and think of any GM you want coming in the middle of January. And Chychrun has decided he's not ready to play tonight. So there's little things like that catch you off guard.
Yeah.
But if you're able to poke the bear enough to get him to come out and play like he's capable of, it's unbelievable to see the raw skill that kids like him have.
that's so cool, man. Well, pack him up.
Pick him up.
Don't
Pack
pick
him up. You got Chychrun. I didn't even get into his stats. He ended up having 2 goals, an assist. He was a +1 with 8 shots, 8 hits, 6 blocks, and 21 minutes of ice this week. So he had a week. And Scott,
I think that's his only week so far.
Yeah, he was hurt, right?
Scott,
He's always hurt, that guy.
Scott
break his leg
Mayfield
last year.
had
Pick
a
'em
week.
up!
Only owned in 34% of leagues. Was a +4. Had 7 penalty minutes, 10 shots, 6 blocks, and 21 minutes of ice.
I think all those 6 blocks were last night against the Leafs.
Yeah, we didn't get anything for him.
Brutal. What a shitty game.
Moving over to the
boring.
forwards, we have Dylan Strome,
Pick 'em
owning
up!
46% of leagues. He picked up a goal, 6 assists. He was a +4 with 2 power play points, 51% in the dot, and 19 minutes of ice. So nice trade, John Chaika. Radek Faska,
Pick 'em
only
up!
owned in 17% of leagues. He picked up 3 assists, was a +2, had 4 penalty minutes, 5 shots, 7 blocks, 52% in the dot over his 17 minutes of ice.
Good for him.
Pack him up.
Pick him up right now.
And Casey Cizikas,
Pick 'em
owned
up!
in
What is up with that guy this year? He's fucking on fire this year.
He had 2 goals and an assist this week with a +4. He had 6 penalty minutes, 7 shots, and 5 hits. Only owned in 12% of leagues. Pack him up.
And I think he's centering a line with Matt the Missile and Uncle Leo.
Oh,
That's what I saw
man.
last night. No,
That's a dirty line.
there's
right
a grind
there.
line for you.
That's a
right
grind
there.
line for sure.
Did you see when
wonder Trotz
Leo
likes them.
scored? And then they called it back
Oh, he
because
threw
he
it in,
basically
yeah.
threw it in the net. And he was laughing the whole way back to the bench.
I was kind of
Uncle
going
Leo.
back and forth between the Canada and the.
I didn't even realize Canada was playing last night.
Yeah, I was.
Did we
kinda,
win?
Yeah, we won. We won 5-1.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll kind of.
Silly question, I guess. Did we win? Of course we
Well,
won.
no. Hey, Craig Button. Although I'm not a huge Craig Button guy.
The guy from Whoville.
TSN head scout.
yeah. Whoville's head scout. He ended up saying that he felt the Czechs were going to take the silver medal,
Oh.
but they didn't
guess
look so
they,
good.
And he also gave Martin St. Louis his walking papers, right?
Yeah,
Couldn't,
you're right.
couldn't
yeah.
make a 500 hockey team in Calgary, but
Yeah, goes on to be a
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, hockey Hall of
Yeah.
Famer.
Good job, Button.
Yeah. Well, let's get off the button here and move over to Buzz's girl and see which fantasy players had let us down this week in their underperformance hanging out with Buzz's girlfriend.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Woof.
Woof. Starting off with the Wolf goalies for the week, we have John the Wolf Gibson.
Woof.
He had
Didn't he make the All-Star team?
yeah, the All-Star had no wins this week in both of his starts and posted a 4.49 goals against average and an 870 save percentage. Not good
Woof.
enough.
Woof.
Not good enough. Cam Talbot
Woof.
had no wins on both of his starts.
He played?
He played 2 games this week.
Oh, man.
And what's his tits?
Koskinen?
He played a game, and like if we could, like I always try to find the goalies that have played 2 or 3 times, not just one game.
Yeah.
But if we went on the one gamer,
Yeah, he's in
Koskinen would be on a huge time woof. It was like his goals against average was like 12.
Did you just say huge time?
Huge time.
Huge.
But yeah, Talbot, no good. He got 2 starts, not good enough.
Well, you know what? Edmonton sucks.
Well, they're not
That's all
doing
there is
too well
to it.
right now.
They stink. They had their little run there, and that's it. Game over. See you later, boys.
Pekka Rinne.
Woof.
He had no wins in both of his starts and slid in an 885 save percentage. So that's a big woof.
Sexy time.
On defense, we got Pat's boy, PK Subban.
My boy, I
Pernell
traded his
Carl.
ass.
You love Subban.
Actually, I traded him for Dougie Hamilton in a much bigger deal, and then I traded Hamilton for OEL, so I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Yeah. Subban fucking blows.
Well, he blew this week because he had 0 points. He was a -5. He had 0 hits,
See, again-
0 blocks in 19 minutes of ice. Like,
Tell me how a number 1 or number 2 defenseman doesn't get one goddamn hit.
well, he's not getting
Can I say
number 1 or
goddamn on
number
the
2 minutes. He's
was-
not getting the minutes.
He was too excited meeting Tom Brady, I think.
19 minutes of ice. You can
used all
fall
his
into
energy.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
what?
was pretty pumped up about that Tom
Should have
Brady
saved some of
meeting.
that energy for those
Dig.
games.
Yeah, maybe he could log more than 19 minutes of ice.
What a twat.
Pernell.
Josh Morrissey
Woof.
had 0 points.
Seth, he won't be happy about that one.
Seth is a Morrissey guy?
We've been telling him to pick up Morrissey, and he kept saying no, and Morrissey was on fire. So now I bet you he picked up Morrissey this week,
And now he's a
done nothing
wuff.
for him.
And now he's been dipping into Buzz's girl. No points, -3, 0 hits in 22 minutes of
Again, with
ice.
the zero
Zero
hits.
hits.
Come on.
It's today's hockey.
Like, it doesn't take much to hit a guy, and to get credited with a hit, you just got to stand in front of the guy. So obviously, they're not doing anything over there.
Rasmus Dahlin,
Woof.
he had 0 points, a -1.
Okay, but that's okay. He's a rookie.
He's 94% owned in Fantrax leagues.
Yeah.
He's, people have him. They are counting on him, and he's let them down. He's, he went down on Buzz's girl. Not good enough. Not
And
good
Buzz's
enough.
girl didn't think it was good enough either.
No, well, I think Dahlin has crabs.
Actually, we
now.
established on the last pod that it was actually Buzz's boyfriend.
Right. Or like transvestite.
Whatever.
Moving over to the forwards here. We got Kyle Connor. My boy, unfortunately, had a woof week. He had 0 points with a -4, 0 hits, 0 blocks, 0 pims in 19 minutes of ice.
Another Winnipeg guy with no hits. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't
Seriously,
know.
you think they all hit over there?
You got Jaden Schwartz,
Woof.
St. Louis Blues. He had 0 points,
Let me guess, 0 hits.
a -1, 0 pims, 0 hits,
Boom.
0 blocks.
Jeez.
There's your captain.
And and Patty Marlowe of the Leafs had a woof week.
Yep.
0 points, a -3, and 1 shot over the 3 games he played.
Woof.
Not good enough, Patrick.
Dear.
Not good enough. You're heading back to San Jose. All right, well, moving off Buzz's girl here.
She's kind of gross.
She's really gross, and so are those players this week.
He's kind of gross.
Yeah. Well, we have, like I said, Will the Pharrell has been here with us for the entire episode. And I just kind of learned today, I didn't realize that you were so involved in the scouting community with the Toronto Junior Canadians. And I'm sure you have a lot of great tales. One of the first questions I'm curious about, just because, I've told this story before, but in my my grade 8 class presentation, we had to come up with our own business cards of what you saw your future self doing. And my business card was the head scout of the Detroit Red Wings.
It's a pretty good gig.
It would have been a pretty good gig. So I've always and I think that's one of the big things why I enjoy the hockey pool that Pats and I are in.
sure.
Because you need to know the draft eligible kids.
Yep.
You need to know what's happening over in Europe, what's happening in the O.
Yep.
I love going to go see the Oshawa Generals games.
It's right here.
It's right here. Yeah, it's down the
Yeah.
street, right? So it's like this is all of the stuff that I really like and I enjoy, and seeing those guys like off topic. We're sitting here, talking smack about Josh Hosang. I really like Hosang. Pats is a jerk.
Hey, I traded for him in our pool, and then I got rid of him when he had his attitude didn't go away.
Yeah.
Now, and it's funny because he basically like chirped his whole management in Long Island, saying, "Oh, they made their mind up before camp that I wasn't going to play. They were going to send me back." And now he's up there on the team. I would have fucking sat him whole year.
Well, he looked good.
I would have left him.
He's also the guy that the first day of camp slept in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
Yeah, how does that even happen?
He hasn't exactly made his bed as tidy as
Oh man,
As he
many
should.
should.
I
Or
wouldn't have
you
slept
would, you
that
would
night.
expect, but
I would have been up all night.
Oh,
fucking
I'd be at the
making
rink
sure
before
I
the
was
Zamboni
100%
guy.
at that, on time. Idiot sleeps in, or is that what they said?
Who knows
He
exactly?
slept in, or he was humping Buzz's girlfriend.
I hope not.
But just rolling back over to Will and what he's been doing, like I was just saying, this is just something that's always been a huge interest of me. I like reading about scouting and just getting involved in any way possible. So for like hockey losers like myself, where this stuff is like the coolest thing ever. Why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about how you got into scouting and maybe some of the players that you've had the privilege of getting to work with.
Well, I got into scouting shortly after I quote unquote retired from coaching. Basically, 2014 and 15 was the last year I coached, and that was the year when my little guy was born, and that was my wife's mat year leave. So I decided I would regret around Christmas time not being at the rink. So I said, if we can work this out, let's see how the year goes, and we'll regroup as the season progresses. And I knew about, again, right around that time where I would have been kicking myself, I knew that was it for me. And at that time, through my coach, I worked with Jeff Angelidis. I decided, well, let me do some scouting for you. If there's something out there that you want me to go watch, or there's a team or a player, you just let me know, and I'll go out and I'll help you with that, because I truly loved being at the rink. And actually, a few years prior, that's when I met Matt McGuffin. So we would go to the rink back when I was coaching, and Matt was even coaching back then with Don Mills, and we would watch players and watch teams. And a great story I remember about Matt early on in his scouting time was watching Mitch Marner. And Mitch Marner was probably about 5'7", 130 pounds, soaking wet.
So basically the same as what he is now.
Yeah, pretty much. Just wearing a Don Mills Flyer uniform and these bright orange laces. And I remember Matt saying, what do you think of this guy? And I just could not get over how this little fella was controlling the game. And there really wasn't a spectacular team around him. What he did that year was go to a team that's kind of hovering around the middle. Lindsey Hofford recruited him and had worked with him for years when he was a kid, and made him the main guy. And we could not keep our eyes off of this talent. He said, well, some of our scouts really aren't too sure about him, but I really, really like him. I'm like, Guffer, I'd have him on my team yesterday.
Right.
And you just see things like that. And then it's so unique for me when I was coaching to go to the rink early and watch, I can remember watching Wendell Clark coach his little fella when they were about 9 or 10 years old, and you're seeing Wendell Clark, and then you're seeing, the Alex Formatons, and you're seeing, the Cody Clarks and players like this who now are playing in World Juniors, and now they're getting drafted, in the NHL and are making names for themselves. So to see these guys and, the Hosangs and the McDavids back when, they're playing on a Tuesday night at Victoria Village Arena is really, really cool. And again, back to the Chychrun story, when you see them practice, it's something I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to do for as long as I've been doing it.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm jealous.
But
You
the
look
life of a
jealous.
scout, I mean, I have a few friends that scout in the NHL who have scouted, and it's a year-by-year contract. So, you may hit a couple home runs, in your fourth, fifth, sixth round draft picks, but if that doesn't progress, the heat gets on you. Okay, who do you got? Who you got? Where are you going with this? So,
Right.
it's a job that you really have to, devote your the good chunk of your life into doing if you want to do it well.
Right. And like, so if you are out there scouting for an NHL team,
Right.
and a lot of the times you get your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round draft picks, those guys aren't coming into the league until like 3, 4, 5 years
Minimum, yeah.
So how long is your life expectancy really in terms of being a scout on a team like?
Well, it depends. I mean, at the pro level, it really depends on who the management team is.
Right.
It's a lot of old boys club to an extent where, you think back to the Oiler days with Kevin Lowe. He was bringing in Semenko and Andy Moog or guys like that. I don't even know if Andy Moog was the Oilers, but it's a lot of your friends.
Right.
And you even see that
People
even
people
in
you
junior.
trust.
Yeah. Once you get a hold of that program, you want people you can trust. And
Of course.
even in minor hockey, it's hard to find good assistants who you can trust, or a good goalie coach that is going to show up on time every Tuesday practice and things like that. So
Right.
It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of knowing who's been there for you through the ups and downs, and you can turn to and is going to get back to you and be there for you.
Right. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That makes sense. Well, and as you kind of talked about, like, McDavid and Formington and Chychrun and these guys that have been playing into the World Junior Championships and getting into the program with Team Canada, I figured we can kind of segue here over to a little World Junior talk. Usually we get into a little prospect talk, but I figured we'll talk about the World Juniors this week.
Since that's where all the
'Tis the
prospects
season.
are anyway.
That's where they all are anyways, right? Yeah, exactly. 'Tis the season for sure. So moving over to the championship here, in Group A throughout the 3 games, Canada sits on top with 9 points, and Russia's in second with 6, although they're the only team that have only played 2 games. Switzerland's in third with 4 points. The Czechs are in fourth with 2 points, and the Danes have a big zilch.
That's because they're brutal.
Wow, like you can't do too much there, can you? With those guys,
No, not at all.
and
They're really,
over
really bad.
over in Group B, through the 3 games, you got Sweden is on top with 8 points. The U.S. is in second with 7. Finland's in third with 6 points. Kazakhstan and Slovakia are in the bottom with 0.
Jesus.
Kazakhstan.
Well,
only played
Kazakhstan,
2.
because the only thing that came out of there was Borat.
Yeah, I think he's their coach, isn't he?
Is
Probably.
Anthropov from Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
No, I
He
don't
is.
see.
He is.
Well, then how
I'm
come?
pretty sure he is.
How come his kid's not on the
Because
team?
he sucks, too.
Get out of here.
Danny, is his name Danny?
Yeah, Daniel Antropov. He's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
He's not bad. He's playing on the second line for the Jennies this year. I've watched him.
Former Marley, yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't mind him. Like I don't think he's.
from Kazakhstan. I gotta fucking look that up.
Yeah, I
now.
was gonna say he's.
I think
not-
he is from Kazakhstan. That seems to.
Well,
ring
why
a
wouldn't he
bell
be
that
on
he's
the
from-
on the squad?
I'm sure he's got a passport.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, yeah. Who knows?
Well, he was born here though, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe
Most
that's why.
likely.
Maybe
So
maybe
maybe-
they're calling him Canadian.
Maybe.
He's from Kazakhstan.
There
He's
you
got
go.
the passport. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want, is it your father or is it your mom? I forget how it works, but
I'm not sure, but
get
I would.
that passport.
I'd like to think that he'd be able to make that squad.
You'd
like
think
he's-
so.
No, he's from North York.
No.
That's why he's not on the
he doesn't
team.
I
have the
thought you just
passport.
said that he was from Kazakhstan.
No, his dad.
Oh, I
was
knew
born
his
there.
dad was,
Yeah,
but that's what I was
so,
saying. Like,
yeah,
he was born
Daniel
here.
Antropov, born North York, Ontario.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving forward here. Basically, if the knockout stages started today, we'd have Canada against either Kazakhstan or Slovakia.
Fantastic.
It's basically going to be whoever wins that game. You think Slovakia will win it. Yeah. And then you got Sweden versus the Czechs, Russia versus Finland, and USA versus the Swiss.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah, the Russia-Finland game. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm looking forward to the Russia-Canada game on New Year's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But looking over some of the teams.
What time's game time?
Probably 8.
8 o'clock.
I think so.
Prime time.
I don't know. I have to double check. Looking at some of the team statistics, though, the top power play in the tournament the last couple of years, whoever's had the top power play has won the tournament. Canada's not doing so good in that department.
Because they're too busy taking dives. And they're fucking their heads on there, taking dives instead of
Well, Canada
running
right
their power
now,
play.
Canada right now has the 4th best power play at 25%. The Swiss are in third with 28.57%. Sweden has the 2nd best power play at 33.33%. And the U.S. is number 1 at 46.67% on the power play.
46.
Yeah, like they are getting it done.
Oh man.
You know, and even over to the PK, the U.S., they are perfect on the penalty kill, 100%.
Wow.
They're 7 for 7 on the PK.
Wow.
The Swiss are also 100%, and they've had 12. They're 12 for 12 on the penalty kill.
Not bad.
That helps.
Well, you think that that's all they practiced, right?
Yeah,
You know
seriously.
what I mean? And Russia is in third in penalty kill, and Canada is tied with Kazakhstan in fourth for penalty kill. So the special teams,
Kazakhstan.
you know, just aren't up to snuff. Like you look at U.S., U.S. is number 1 and number 1.
Yeah.
You know, so even though they don't have a perfect record right now, that's not really, you know, it all matters in the knockout stages, right?
For sure.
So, you know, to me, based on these numbers, they are looking like the teams to win. And if you're looking at the overall team goaltending as well, in terms of team save percentage, because the teams always go back and forth with different goalies, Russia has a 977 save percentage, Finland has a 957, and Canada is in third with 945. So goaltending's doing it.
Yeah.
And like, man, like we're shooting, we're scoring.
Right.
We
Wow.
just, you know,
we scored 14 goals. in
I
one
know
game.
that doesn't really count, right? It just kind of inflates everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, we just got to keep working on our special teams. So hopefully, I'm sure Coach Hunter and the boys are working on that today. So hopefully that gets going. Sure. And looking over at the scoring leaders, you got in first place is the Philadelphia Flyers first round pick Morgan Frost for Team Canada. He has 4 goals and 7 points.
Because he had like 14 points in one game.
The Habs prospect, your boy Ryan Paling.
Who's he?
He's on Team USA.
He's
a
a
center.
prospect. That's why I don't know
Yeah,
who he is.
he was taken 25th overall a
Yeah,
couple
he
years
sucks.
ago, first round pick.
He sucks.
The Ducks winger Max Comtois.
Maxime Comtois.
Comtois. He has 5
That
goals.
should count as 5 push-ups.
I know, it probably should. and 1 assist in his 3 games. And Chicago Blackhawks 4th round pick from Switzerland, Philip Kershev, has 5 goals and an assist. He was the guy that got both goals against Canada
Oh, of course.
in his game. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I went and looked. Are you going to? I see you grabbing your phone. You're looking
Look
to
him
see.
up. Pick him up right now. Pick him up.
He's already on a
Pick
team.
him up. Trade him to scouts.
Yeah, I already checked. He's already on. I think he's on the Habs.
Yeah.
The Habs have him.
No, the Habs need some help because I'm pounding them this week.
Yeah. So
Pounding.
that's kind of the kind of 4-1-1 on what's happening in the tournament with this week. Any insight? Any thoughts? You guys been watching it?
No. I watched the 14-0 game.
Right.
And then I haven't watched anything
I
since.
saw the Swiss
I don't really watch
Yeah.
it until the
playoff games.
better, yeah, exactly,
Right.
like the knockout games.
Yeah. No, I've been watching. I think obviously just been watching the Canada games. Yeah, the 14-0 game was kind of it's hard to take anything from that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
but yeah, that's a, yeah. Like,
they were literally just firing everything at the net, and
Yeah.
it was just going in.
yeah,
Like I know Comtois was in the slot. He just turned around and fired a backhander. It went in.
but and it wasn't like they had 65 shots on net either. I think they had like 39 shots on net or
Yeah.
something.
Right.
So it wasn't like
Yeah, like their shooting percentage is
Ridiculous.
actually insane.
it was
When
14 for 39. Like, come on.
Yeah, actually that was another stat. I didn't write it down here, but like their shooting percentage and their goal differential in terms
Yeah.
of goals to shots is pretty stupid right now. They're definitely leading in that.
Well, for sure. That's what
You know, and
happens.
I think it's 22 goals for, 3 against. You know, like that's pretty ridiculous. But but at the same time, you're not going to put up stats like that against the Americans or Sweden
No.
or Finland or Russia. So it's gonna, this game coming up on New Year's Eve tomorrow night is going to be a really, really big
That's
test.
a big one.
Yeah, it's going to be the telling tale of what we can actually do here.
So what are your guys' thoughts on when? Now I know how you feel, Will.
Sure.
But a game like that where it's 14-0.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now at what point, is it 6-0? Is it 7-0? At what point do you take your foot off the gas?
Well,
Do you? Do you do it?
no. Well, not in this tournament anyways, for 2 reasons.
Not
One,
even the goal differential. Take that out of it.
Well-
Take it from like a sportsmanship.
Well, from a sportsmanship, yeah, it's different. But at the same time, like Tim Hunter came out and said after, he's like, I didn't want to run up the score, but we're still trying to work on our power play. So I need to, and if you're looking at his 25% clip, he's damn right. He still needs to work on his power play in-game situation, and he had to keep throwing his first unit out there to see if he can get them to gel and to click. Now, what I was thinking could be a good idea would be, instead of having the goal differential or most goals, it could be who has the least amount of goals against. Right? That could be the goal differential.
Yeah.
So you don't have to run up the score.
Right.
That is an option, but
I'm always kind of like, you're on the fence with that, because I mean, there's an argument to be made for both sides, right? It's like, yeah, you don't want to run up the score, you don't want to embarrass people, but at the same time, you don't want to just get into bad habits either, because everyone's complaining, or Canada's running up the score, it's embarrassing, it's unsportsmanlike. Fucking shut up.
Well, if they know the rules, and if they know goals for and against are going to make or break you playing, one of the top 6 teams compared to bottom 6.
My thing is if you're getting blown out and you're going to be upset that you're being blown out, get better.
Right. Yeah.
Just get better. Don't suck.
And the funny thing is that this isn't even the biggest score. Canada's actually
Then they have 22-0 against somebody.
It was 18. Maybe the 20
against Kazakhstan, probably. I think it was Kazakhstan.
I don't know. I think it was. They said it was 85 and then 86 back-to-back years. They won 18-0.
Yeah, it was pretty. There was one. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Right.
That's
now
fucking
22-0 might have been the women's against another team.
I think you know what it might have been, and it might have been in like Kazakhstan. I'm pretty sure it was Kazakhstan somewhere.
Yeah, it's even the gap is even wider when it comes to the women's, right?
Well,
but hey, you know what? It gave the boys some confidence, and padded the stats a little bit. But hey, those are the rules that we have to work with. So I say keep going, keep slinging. And you know what? Like, you can give your bottom lines a little bit of extra time, but at the same time, I 100% agree with, it's a short tournament. You need to gel, you need to click, you need to get your big guys going, especially when it comes to the power play. So, hey, no, I'm not upset about that. And I'm, hey, if we were gonna get trounced like that, I don't know. I guess it's weird because like you don't. Canada's always good, right? So it's like you don't kind of know, you don't see that side of it. You see the Leafs getting pounded, but it's like, back in the day.
Yeah.
But watching them
lose to the Oilers like 9-2.
Right. I don't know. Like stuff like that
heydays.
Stuff like that never bothered me, and it's like I always like the idea of like when scores get like that. Like I was at the point in that 14-0 game where I was like, I hope they get 19, right? So they beat the record.
Yeah.
Right. Or can Comtois get another goal? Because I think he had 4 goals in that game.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Frost had 4, too, I think. They both had
something
4.
like that, right? So it's like, hey, can these guys get 5? And then that would be the new record.
Yeah.
So it's like, I start looking at it from that side of things.
Yeah.
That stuff kind of gets me...
you see both sides of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you see everyone on Twitter whining and crying about us running the score up.
Right.
And it's like, well, you know what?
They would do it to us.
Get better. Get better. Oh, they fucking for
If
sure
they
they
could.
would.
If
They
they
totally
could.
would. Like, look at the Americans, even like... And the way, even the American women, even just the way they talk, like towards Canada when they're talking, if they ever, they happen to beat us or whatever, it's just like
I'm a big
basically
fan
like
of Hillary Knight.
We're pieces of shit.
Did you guys see that Hillary Knight spread where she's buck naked skating?
How old is she?
Google it.
Oh, that yeah. I saw that.
The American
I saw that picture.
hockey player.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Isn't she like 18?
No. Who cares if she's 18?
around.
She's an adult. What?
Okay. Yeah, I did. I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, I might have saved those pics.
Yeah. Spank bank.
Spank bank. Well, moving on. Well, that just about does it for this week, boys. Thriller, thanks for coming out and being on it with us.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks again.
As you're all well aware, we here at the Hockey Dummies are strong advocates for mental health awareness. Mental health awareness means recognizing mental health is as real as any physical illness. So if you feel depressed, speak up. Talk with a friend, and contact your doctor. You can even tweet to us, and we'll always be there for you. Tune in next week as we'll be getting back into our usual hockey annex and keep you up to date with our analysis on what's happening in the World Junior Tourney. Again, a big thanks to Will the Thrill from West Hill for coming out this week, and hope to have you on again, man.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, please follow us on Twitter at Hockey Dummies. We're on Facebook and Instagram at The Hockey Dummies. And don't forget to subscribe to the pod.
1, 2. Now I'ma say this one time, boy, and that's my word.
We rock the shot to knock fire through the Hindenburg.
The contribution is clear.
You add water to bone and get the
Jurassic Live on the microphone.